What's up, everybody? This is Fitty.
And I'm Izzy.
And this is How We Talk.
Again.
Back at it.
Who
do we have here in studio?
No, I'll let you.
Come on.
I butchered your name earlier, dude.
Yeah.
Andres Castañeda. Castañeda.
Castañeda, there
There
you
you
go.
go, you got it. He said Castañeda. Castañeda.
Cada todo.
Yeah.
Casta todo.
What was the word I had asked you about? Does the proper Spanish?
Castellano.
I see. All these are all
The
getting
ñ.
me.
The ñ.
Okay, see, all this is getting me. I don't speak
the
that much
proper
Spanish, man.
I have
As
a
long as
ñ.
you got the ñ, we're good, bro.
Yeah.
I have a ñ in my last name.
Castellano?
No, my last name.
Avendaño.
Avendaño.
You too, that's right.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Avendaño. But everybody,
Avedano.
yeah, Avendano.
Always.
And then they ask me, "Are you Italian? Do I look Italian?"
You're that
come on.
dark.
Like, do I look
Hey,
Italian?
South Italy.
Yeah,
Really
I'm the
Italy.
Jersey Italian, like the MTV jerseys, like what is it like?
Yeah, bro.
What were they doing? Like hitting the floor, banging the floor,
Fist pumping.
fist pumping. That's what they're doing.
Man.
I was all into that, dude. Terrible.
Were you?
Yeah, I noticed. Okay, anyways,
Yeah,
that was
The blowout.
nah. I was envious. I had hair envy. I wish I had it like that. I couldn't. My hair goes all over the place, dude. So I wear a hat all the time.
That's why you wear the hats.
Yeah.
That's right.
I noticed Andres is wearing a Dodger hat.
Always. You got to always be sporting.
Yeah.
No matter what.
No matter.
Win, lose,
Or tie.
Win, loser, that would draw, whatever.
we have to, man. That's what I was trying to teach Vincent because he's so upset. Vincent's my son. Everybody knows that already. He's so upset right now. And I just told him right now, hey, guess what I just heard right now? Rumor drop that the Dodgers are thinking about re-signing or extending Dave Roberts' contract.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, that just dropped right now. And then he's like, oh, he threw a fit.
Oh, I bet.
He got, he did the ripped up papers and went like this.
It's over.
He's like, why? And I was like, nah,
man.
you just got to have faith. And, it's your team and you got to ride with them, until the end.
So Andres, my son, same thing. Yesterday, he was like bawling. He was pissed. He was like punching the couch. I'm like, dude, relax. He's like, no, I can't believe it. And I kept telling him, I said, look, they're going to lose. They're going to win. But regardless, you got to back them. And the thing that's what I was talking to my wife about is like, these are opportunities to teach them how to lose.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, how do you lose with dignity and how do you show that sportsmanship? Because he was like talking about the Red Sox, they suck. And I'm like, no. You got to give them credit. You know what I mean? Like, applaud them and then say, okay, we're going to come back harder next time.
Right.
So it was really interesting. I was just like, ay, man.
Yeah.
They
It's funny it's funny you say that because I was thinking the exact same thing, that we got to take these. They're all learning opportunity or teaching opportunities for us, learning opportunities for them.
For sure.
And we can't take that away from them. A lot of people would just like, well, actually encourage them or go along with it. I've noticed like, yeah, they do suck and F them and this and that. Like, well, you can't really do that because you're trying to raise somebody, give them a right head on there, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And that same thing, dude. Like that was last year for me,
especially for Vince,
with
too, 'cause
Vincent.
he's in sports.
Yeah.
He's got to learn that.
That's like, so was Andres. So Andres, dude, when I go to they go to the same school, Andres and Vincent.
Okay.
So I go over there and the kid's got his sweatband. He's either playing football or catch. He's doing something. He's very active, and he's a Spartan. He's a Spartan kid too,
Big
huh?
time too. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's hard for them because they are passionate about it. Yeah. So you have to teach them and how to filter it out a little bit. So and that's where it's kind of fun. Sometimes I get a little frustrated because I'm like, how do you not get it? Like just relax, But it is. They're 100%.
They're
all
in.
All in. And you got to show them that it's okay to lose.
You got to walk them off the cliff.
Yeah.
Walk off the cliff. Buddy.
Yeah.
It's all right.
But then when he goes to bed and you're just
exactly. I'm gonna go hit some stuff too.
but for sure, last year when the Astros beat us, in our home, Game 7, but that's last year. Yeah, Vincent, dude, went to his room crying, knocked out, and he didn't wake up until the morning.
Oh shoot!
And then he's all, did they still lose? They still lost.
Going to sleep doesn't make a difference.
No, it does it. But there's always next year. I hate this. I don't want to say that. I don't want to get used to saying that.
Yeah, no. It is what it is.
Yeah.
We'll get Corey Seager back.
Yeah.
Maybe Machado's out the door.
He might be. Yeah. I mean, he's hot. So
yeah. Yeah, but a lot of teams like him, dude. A lot of teams want him. Guys, I mean, he showed up in the playoffs.
Oh, man,
he showed up
big time.
Oh, yeah. Kershaw.
That's another story. Yeah. He's at the tail end of, not tail end of his career, but
some might say that.
Yeah, he has to change his complete pitching strategy.
He has to adjust.
Yeah.
He has to adjust. He's not that fast pitcher anymore.
No, he has to have those, the breaking balls.
Yep.
But he's throwing about 50% of them at this point.
Yeah.
They're still hitting off him. That's the thing.
Yeah. He's still, because he still wants it. He hangs it out there.
Yeah.
And he leaves it out there, and then boom, you got.
Like, thank you.
Yeah. It's a cookie.
The Kirsch.
The Kirsch. Oh.
Yeah, remember I had asked you.
Kirsch.
I had asked you. I know. I had asked you if you thought he would re-sign.
Yeah.
Or if the
what
Dodgers,
did I say? I don't remember.
You said something like, "Well, the question is, would the Dodgers want to?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Makes sense now.
Story.
Yeah. But see, I guess where I was wrong, right? No, because we don't fact check on the show here. He's the only one that has that choice.
Yeah.
So if he says no, I'm going to stay, then we offered him that contract, so he's got to stay.
He could stay, right?
Yeah. If he says he's the one that's in control of it, right. Not us, not the Dodgers. So that's where I was wrong. In saying that.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, we don't have a choice. So if he goes, yeah, you know what? Like he has 3 days to decide after the World Series. 3 days. So what? Before Friday, we'll find out.
Yeah.
That means he has 3 days to shop around or to get shopped around.
Yeah.
And see if there's any offers and what kind of offers. Is he going to chase money? Everybody's talking about Texas Rangers, but
right.
Who's to say he doesn't go to Arizona with Greinke and team up with him again, right? Mm-hmm. Never know.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
But I think we're pretty good with pitchers. We got Walker Buehler, Julio Diaz is healthy.
Yeah.
So our bullpen's pretty good if we get rid of some of the older guys like Madsen that killed it for us. And man, Alex Wood is a really good pitcher. Just didn't show up this year.
No, he couldn't put it together.
Last year he was awesome. It was debatable if he was going to be the number 1 or number 2. Our ace. But this year he was just
But Buehler's I think the future. That kid. That kid is just phenomenal.
Yeah. What did he pitch? Game 5?
Game 5.
No. Game 5.
Yeah.
Game 5.
7.
No, that was Kershaw. So he pitched game 3.
Was it 3rd? Yeah.
That's the one. That's the extra innings.
Oh, right.
The extra innings win, and he gave us 7 solid innings, 7.1, right? Or a third.
Yeah.
So he did good. He did really good.
I don't know why you're asking me.
He just like,
yeah. 3, 7, 5, all that.
Sure.
7.25.
Yeah. Wow. That was the sports topic of the topic conversation that we had.
Now you see how it's gonna go when we have our sports episode.
You're just gonna produce a show. You're gonna be in the background like this.
Push fact checking.
Fact checking.
Hey, you got it wrong.
So, anyways, why are you here? Is what he asked me earlier. What are we interviewing him for? I said, why not? Right? But there's more to it.
Yes, and I've always wanted to ask somebody this.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what it is. Kiwanis.
It's a good question because I was going to open up with that.
Really?
Yeah, it's like we're right here.
Yeah, we're always here. This is our show. This is how we talk.
Yeah.
Well, Kiwanis, it's interesting. So Kiwanis has been around for close to about 100 years. So it's one of the oldest service organizations in the world. Started in Detroit. And actually, the word Kiwanis means exchange for service, something like that. It's a Native American word.
That's cool.
And it started basically by businessmen, almost kind of like a networking, organization. And within the 30 years that it started, it turned into more of a service organization. When the Depression was there and stuff like that, people were trying to help each other out. So it started evolving into more of a service organization versus like a business networking type of group. And now it's just a full-on, worldwide service organization with over 600 members, 600,000 members. I'm going to talk about.
Damn.
We're like in every continent, pretty much every country. We just opened up, clubs in China, which is the first time this year there's no other service organization I think that's done that. But really, I mean, that's a global. But when you look at it at the end of the day, it's all about the community.
Yeah.
What do we do here for our community? And so what we do here in Kiwanis is serve our kids. So it's a service organization, a local service organization that, we just kind of pull our resources together, our time. We volunteer to get kids into leadership programs. We provide backpacks and stuff like that for kids that are homeless and foster youth. We partner up with the city. So we do a lot of stuff with the West Covina city and the school district to provide opportunities for the kids to come to the city to shadow the mayor. We have something that's called Student Government Day.
Yeah.
Where we get high school kids to come and they basically take over the city. and they get to see what it is to run the city for a day.
Acting mayor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But we give them like also a budget. We say, hey, you got $1 million. What are you going to do with it? You have all these competing interests. So we have like a city council meeting. We have mock people that come up and they start pitching their wants. They're like lobbying for their interests. And so the kids have to like, really look through all the issues to kind of figure out what they're going to do with that. So it's a lot of stuff that we do like that in the city. We also support our seniors. So there's two groups in the community that are kind of like what we consider to be the marginalized, and that's kids,
right?
And then the seniors. The seniors are a lot of times are forgotten, and so we try to partner up as much as we can with the senior center. There's also the West Covina Healthcare. It's like a convalescent home.
Yeah,
we do bingo with them, which is it's super simple.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's like 30 seniors that come to do bingo with us, but it like means the world to them.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It's like no one sometimes comes to see them for months.
Yeah.
And here we come on a monthly basis and spend some time with them.
Yeah.
And then with the kids, it's mentorship. You know, how can we help these kids to become better kids of better versions of themselves? And we do it through mentorship. We do it through service. We provide leadership opportunities. So we send them out to leadership camps. And when they come back like different kids altogether, like psyched up and like ready to serve. You know what I mean? Which is very different than what you see a lot of times. Our kids sometimes are kind of like wandering, or they're just like on their devices and stuff like that. And so just different ways that we can kind of provide for them so that they become better versions of themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
right now you said like about serving, so it brings me to the community service part of it. I think one of the good ways to describe it would be more like we want them to learn what it is to actually do community service, and not to let it be those two words that follow you've been sentenced to 600 hours of community service, because when you think about it, any random average person right now, you tell them community service and they go, oh shit, what'd you do?
Yeah.
Right?
So it's interesting you bring that up. I was actually going to bring this up too. There's a not a podcast, I'm sorry, a TED Talk.
Okay.
By a professor of sociology. I forgot what university she's from, but she talks about that. She talks about like we need to change the way we think about service in this country,
right? Because
service is a punishment. So we talks about the penal system. Like if you get a ticket, you can either pay the fine or
service.
You can do service. You know what I mean? Or you send kids that are like truant, go do service. You know what I mean? And so it becomes a punishment. So no one wants to do it. You know what I mean? And it becomes like, why would I want to do that? And it becomes a negative versus a positive. But what we see is that we're trying to turn it into something. It's not necessarily cool, but what we do as as like citizens of a community is like you're walking down the street and you pick up the trash, not because someone is forcing you to, because you have this pride of ownership.
Right.
You know, I'm proud of where I live.
Right.
I want others to, do the same. And then not only that, but as parents, we want them to emulate us.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So then we're out there doing this because we know that they're watching, because kids learn by watching us.
Right.
You know what I mean? So by us doing it, it becomes a positive, and it becomes something that it's just like, well, of course you do. Of course you serve. Like there is no other way. You know what I mean? But growing up, I actually wanted to take it back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because growing up, I didn't know what service was. You know what I mean? Organized service.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like growing up in La Puente, I mean, there might have been Kiwanis, there might have been Lions Club and stuff like that, but far removed from where I lived.
Yeah.
And far removed from like my community. And the way we did service is we just helped each other out.
Yeah.
Like my mom would just bring random people home and say, oh, they just needed a place to stay and they're on the street and stuff. And we're like, what the hell are you doing? But it was how we gave service. You know what I mean? And so I kind of grew up in service, but not in the organized sense. And to see it now in this organized way, it's more, I find it powerful, because there's so much, the impact is so much greater, because you can touch more people, and it just kind of takes off like wildfire.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're touching a community as opposed to just a household, right?
Right. Exactly.
So,
but also supporting that type of community where it doesn't have to be organized. It's just helping someone out. It's showing empathy, it's showing compassion, and being like just civically engaged, knowing that I just want to help this person out, not for any other reason, but because it's the right thing to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it really just changes the way you think.
Yeah. Like you said, not looking for anything in return, just to do the solid, like you said, service duty. Yeah. And that's what's lacking in most communities, you know, is that we don't, like you said, our kids emulate us, right? They watch us, they see us, and most of the time, I see the adults throwing stuff out the car window all the time. Yeah. Or kicking a can instead of picking it up and throwing it in the trash or whatever, you know? And it is tough, you know, to expect your kid to do the right thing when you're not doing it.
Yeah. You know? I mean, we see that a lot.
How long have you been involved with it?
With Kiwanis? 4 years.
4 years. In that 4 years, do you see a decline or a rise in like volunteers or?
That's a good question. I think I've seen a rise. In membership and in people actually volunteering. And it just depends on how you frame it and who you're talking to, you know what I mean? So, you know, Kiwanis and a lot of survey organizations have always been like white, older men, you know what I mean, traditionally. Yeah. And that started changing like in the 80s and stuff like that. You started getting more women involved, more people of color and stuff. And then when you look at the makeup of most service organizations now, it's very diverse. Like if you look at my club, you take a snapshot of my club, we have older white men, older white women. We have Asian, we have African American, we have Latinos, and we have people from all age groups, from 24 years old to like 80 years old. We have people from the political spectrum from like all over the place, from like super conservative to progressive. Yeah. And so you think like, how is that possible? How can people that are so different be able to come together and actually get stuff done and get a lot done? Yeah. Right. And what I attribute it to is that we have a common cause.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? We leave everything at the table, out the door. You know, you come into our meeting. It's not about politics. It's not about this. It's not about that. It's about, okay, how can we get stuff done for the community? What's the need for our kids and our seniors? And then let's go after that. And everything else doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And you know, it's to some degree I kind of see it as we're like a microcosm of the country, because it's diverse. Right. You know what I mean? And you got people from all over the place. Yeah. And what you see now in this political climate is like it's like this. Everybody's fighting.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Picking teams, picking sides.
Yeah, exactly. And what I really treasure about what we've done at our club specifically is that we've been able to like what people say, like reach across the aisle, you know what I mean? Where it's not about politics and it's not about, you know, whose side you're on or anything like that, but like, hey, how can we get some stuff done? Yeah. You know what I mean? How can we come together for that common cause and make an impact? Yeah. And you know, when I look at our club, we probably volunteer about over 9,000, close to 10,000 hours a year. Wow. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
You know what I mean? We raise, you know, $50,000, and it all just kind of like it comes in and it goes right back out. Right. No one gets paid. Like no one. It's all.
It's a full nonprofit.
It's a full nonprofit. We're a foundation, so the money comes in, the money goes out. Yeah. And everybody we're on the same page, which is really crazy. Yeah. Because you see other communities and they're at odds. Oh yeah. And to some degree you can see why, but at the same time, the fact that you can still come together for a common cause is golden. I wish more people can do what we're actually doing.
Is that something that, because now you just said different communities, how they come to odds and they bump heads. Is that something that Kiwanis represents, or do you guys teach as a organization?
Yeah, we kind of do. Yeah, I mean, there's no political affiliation. Right. We're not progressive. We're not conservative. We're really about serving the kids of the world. Yeah. Trying to find solutions for the kids that are suffering the most worldwide, and then also within our community. So I think if you can just find that focus and that one cause that kind of gravitates people to, then you're able to get a lot done, and you can leave a lot of stuff at the table or at the door. And you know, when you go home, you become who you are, whatever. But when you're together serving, we're just one group. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know we talked a little bit about off the air. You and I have discussed a little bit about the voting, and it's much bigger than that, you know. But it does, and you had told me it starts in the community. Yeah. And that's where it starts. Yeah. So you have to build that foundation first in order to get up there, right?
No, completely. Yeah. Yeah, and the way I look at voting is, you know, we have the national elections, we have our senators and our congressmen, and they make a big impact. Obviously, you know, you can definitely feel it.
Right.
But where we see most of the impact is in our local politics. It's our city council members, our mayors, our commissioners, like our city commissioners, city planning, and all that. And those are the actual roles that a lot of people don't even consider or think about. Or when they're voting, they're just, you know, they're not really putting a lot of attention to
who's got the coolest name or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, okay, I kind of know this guy, or you know, I've heard about him or whatever, but they really don't dig into understand what the impact truly is, because at the end of the day, all the ordinances, all the taxes, that stuff that happens, it happens locally. You know what I mean? That's what shapes the community itself, is the local politics.
Right.
The state politics and the, you know, overall will affect us as well, and so will the national politics. But what we feel on the daily basis is our local officials.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Our city, you know, city planners and all that. That's where that hits us in the pocketbook, and then also kind of can shape or reshape the community that you live in.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. But, you know, I wanted to go really back to like national politics. So we were talking about, you know, how national politics doesn't affect us sometimes. Well, you know, the whole thing with the pumpkin run where we didn't get the medals.
Oh, right.
The whole reason that happened was because there was more shipping restrictions on everything that's coming from China. Really? Yeah. Which was like, you always think like, oh, it's not going to affect us.
It's not going to affect us,
That's like global stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And then like, where's my medals? Oh, they're stuck in China because there's additional restrictions that they have to go through.
Right.
Like loops that they have to jump or whatever. And I'm like, wow, okay.
It does affect us.
It does affect us sometimes.
Yeah, it is crazy. But since you brought this up, the West Covina Pumpkin Run, I was there. We ran, brought the family. We had How We Talk, the team. I think it was like 7 or 8 of us.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, that was pretty good for our first time trying to create, you know, start the team and our first actual group thing that we did.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great success. The turnout was amazing. You guys had events for the kids. They had like these, which was pretty cool. These bunch of Camaros all displayed out there, and they had like I think they called it trunk and treat. Yeah, that's what it was. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about this right here.
Yeah, so the Pumpkin Run has been going on for 6 years. This is 6th year that it's gone on. This is our first time taking it over.
You guys in Kiwanis, right?
The Kiwanis, yeah, the Kiwanis. We took it over, and we partnered up with the city to do it. The past 5 years, it was run by the West Covina Christian Church, and they're the ones that planted the seed. They're the ones that like, you know, started this whole run. Yeah. And they raised like $25,000 for the senior centers over the past 5 years. But it was, I believe it was kind of pulling them away from the focus of the church. Yeah. And so they're like, we can't continue it. So we're looking for someone to take it over. Yeah. And so the city approached us and said, hey, would you guys, consider taking it on? And we're like, yeah, let's do that. I always wanted, so I was president for 2 years. And one of the things I wanted to do was actually like organize a 5K. So when this came around, I was like, oh, you know what? Like, yeah, this will like check, I could check it off the mark, check it off the list.
The bucket list.
The bucket list, exactly. And our goal was really just to get, 200 to 300 runners. Let's just pace it from like last year. Like let's just do exactly what happened last year, just to be on the safe side. And it just continued to grow though. Like with the partnership with the city, with the sponsors that we had, with all the just advertising that we were able to do with like the West Covina Plaza when they were putting it up on the signs. And it was just all over the place. People just kept calling me and saying, hey, I heard, they're in Chino Hills and they're hearing about it, and they're like in Whittier and they're all over the place. Yeah. So the word started getting out and it started growing. So we went from like 200 runners to 300 to 400. And then we maxed out at 525 runners. Nice. Which just completely blew us out of the water. We're just like, wow. Is
that the most that they've done in 5 years?
Yeah, I think so. I think 1 year, maybe the second or third year, they had about 500 runners. Okay. And it just kind of started dwindling a bit. Yeah. But our goal is to really grow this. Like this could be like a signature run for the city. And raise money, because the thing is, at the end of the day, this is not a profit at all. Like this is all about giving back to the community. Right. So we want kids to be healthy, we want the community to be healthy. So this is a great way for everybody to just be fed and get out there. Yeah. And then the money that comes through goes back to the senior center. So one thing about the senior center, I didn't realize that they provide about 48,000 meals a year for the seniors. Wow. 250 meals or so every day. Yeah. For seniors. And most of these seniors don't have a place to have breakfast or lunch. So this is it for them. You know what I mean? So the fact that we can actually give back to this organization, to this group, it's fantastic. So that was awesome.
Yeah.
And then the remainder goes to will follow to our foundation, which will be for the student leadership programs and backpack programs that we do for our foster and homeless youth. So so it grew. I mean, the partnership with the city was awesome.
That's cool.
They really stepped it up with us, and then also our sponsors. We had about 35 small sponsors. So typically when you have a 5K, you have like these massive sponsors that are like give you $10,000 and all this. We didn't have that. We were just like, let's go after $250 sponsors, $500 sponsors, and people came. Like the businesses said, yes, I want to be part of this. You know what I mean? And they're allowed us to raise the money that we did. So we haven't done the final numbers, but when we do, we're definitely going to share it, and I think it's going to be pretty successful.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. It was, I think, other than the medal situation, I think it was pretty cool. Like everybody was, I mean, it seemed like a party.
It was
a party. Right? Yeah. I mean, it was just awesome. Like they had breakfast and everything for you at the end.
Pancake. So,
cool.
Kiwanis is known for like a pancake breakfast.
Oh, okay.
So we had like a pancake breakfast for everybody. I think we served like 350 people or
at the senior center
at the senior center
in Cortez.
Yeah.
Also, Bushido was there, right?
Yeah. Chico, he was there. His daughters were there. They did a little.
They did a.
What do they call that? Demonstration. Yeah.
They did a demo.
That was pretty cool.
Oh man,
that was amazing.
Yeah.
Funny story. Okay. The youngest one, the one that was she was doing the sword thing. She did the nunchucks, but then she came out with these daggers or something.
Oh, okay.
And Vincent, he's gonna get pissed if he hears this. He won't hear it. So he's just like watching, right? Just like staring, like amazed, right? He's like into this whole thing, and then she just because they gotta get into it, right? Yeah. And she's flipping these things around, and he just starts backing up, and he finds his mom's leg, and he just gets underneath mom's leg, dude. He was scared.
Oh man,
she put the fear in him.
Well, man, she has that look when she gets into the mode.
She got into it, yeah.
When she does the nunchuck kata. Oh my gosh! Yeah. And she's like Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Like she like becomes Bruce Lee. She's like, oh shoot.
That was awesome though.
Yeah, that was awesome.
My son did that. He had his first.
That's right. Yeah.
Big tournament thing, and it was funny because it was in a gym, and half of the level was seating or whatever. So I was up on top just watching down, and he was doing it in front of 3 judges.
Yeah,
he's 7 years old. That's got to be huge for him. His first time.
Oh yeah,
and he's doing it. He's into it, man. And he comes around and he lets it go. Oh. The first thing he does is he looks up. He looks up at me. I'm like, keep going. And he gets it like nothing, dude. Yeah. Just goes right back to where he left off. Yeah, I was like, that's cool. So he's a little bummed, but
the best part that my girls and my son do karate as well with Bushido.
Oh, okay.
And if there's nothing else that these kids get from karate, is that confidence to be in front of strangers that are judging them.
Yeah.
And just like be like nothing. Just bring it. You know what I mean? They're like coming out. You see these kids like same thing, 7 years old, 10 years old, and they just like they put it all out there, and it's just pretty amazing to see.
Yeah. How old are your kids?
I have a 12-year-old, 11, and an 8-year-old or 9-year-old.
Oh, okay. My niece and my nephew go there with Chico as well.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Yeah. But going back to the pumpkin run, the 1K was, well,
that's right. So there you had a 1K for the kids.
We did, yeah. So usually when you have a 1K at a 5K, it's just kind of like you run around the park or whatever, and it's no big deal, whatever. This year we decided to do like a Spartan race.
Yeah.
So we partnered up with a group called OCR Live Fit. And they're that group that actually trains kids to do Spartan races here in West Covina for free.
Okay.
Right on.
And so I talked to Anthony Sanchez, the owner, and he's just like, I'm all about it. You know what I mean? Let's do it. So he came out, set up a bunch of gear and stuff like that, and the kids like blew it out of the water.
Yeah.
They were just like, I want to do it again. You know what I mean? But it's really awesome to know that there's businesses, there's people in the community that just want to participate. Like,
they want to support.
They want to support. They're just like, hey, how can we give back? You know? And that just goes a long way.
Do you where are you guys located at? Like, because you said you work with like teenagers, right? High schoolers and stuff. Do they go to an actual location and?
Yeah, no. So we don't have a location. So we meet once a week at 7:30 at Murray Calendar. So you guys are both invited to come have breakfast with us.
All right.
But we don't have a location itself. Like we meet there, we do everything online, and then where we meet the kids is at the school. So Kiwanis, the Key Clubbers or Key Club is actually the high school extension of Kiwanis.
Okay.
And so we sponsor 7 clubs. So I think it's West Covina, Edgewood, Workman High School, Nogales, Sierra Vista High School, and Baldwin Park.
Okay.
So all those schools have Key Clubs, and they're the kids that we sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
So we go and actually mentor them at school, and then they do service projects, and then we'll go and do service projects with them. So that's kind of how we.
Right on.
And then we also have in junior academy. So at San Jose Charter, we have a builders club where we help the kids at an early age start kind of doing service.
Yeah.
So, but we do a lot of different projects. Like we have one that's coming up. It's the first year. It's the first annual children's Christmas parade.
That's this one here, right?
Oh, that's actually a raffle. I'm going to sell you some tickets right now.
Oh, okay.
But it's actually the first year that we're doing this parade, and it's a parade for only kids. So it's about a half mile. It's going to be at the lakes, and this is where kids can come. They, if they're part of like a cheerleading, soccer.
Oh, okay, so they're going to be walking around.
They'll be walking down the center. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's all for the kids to just kind of have their own parade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're expecting, maybe 200 to 300 kids, and I'm sure the crowd is going to be huge. Probably like, 700, 800 people. So we're doing the parade. We're having Santa. We're having Santa's Village.
Oh, that's cool.
We're partnering up again with the city to do this. And so, we have other projects that are coming up.
Is that going to be done in the Cortez Park area, or
no, that's going to be at the lakes.
Edwards.
Oh, Edwards. Okay.
Yeah. So that's going to be right there. It's going to be December 8th from 8. I want to say from 10 to 12 or 10 to 1 or something like that.
Where can people go to find out more information on that?
WestCovinaKiwanis.com.
WestCovinaKiwanis.com.
Yeah, that's our main site, and then you can also find us on Facebook,
Instagram. All those.
Yeah, we're all there. I'm the one that's on there, like constantly posting stuff.
You said that you were the president. You're not president anymore.
No, so we have a rotating presidentship.
Okay.
So the president stays on for a year, and then we have other members that become like vice president that become president. So we're constantly moving the leadership along.
Yeah.
I did it for 2 years, and then we have another one of our current president, Jeff Zhu. He's one of our youngest members. He's like 24 or something, and just like raised his hand and says, "I want to be president." I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Like that's cool. What I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Start him young.
Yeah.
And so we're constantly just rotating the presidentship. We have a board that stays pretty constant. But the leadership is, we're constantly looking for new leaders, young leaders, anybody that wants to serve and wants to make a big impact. This is like the club to be at.
How many members do you guys have right now?
We have, I think we have 32 members.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're not that big, but small but mighty. You know what I mean? We try to do a lot.
Yeah.
Big projects, small projects.
But still, 32 is a good amount of people to have, especially with not having like a brick and mortar place, like it's everything just online, because everything's online anyways nowadays, right?
That's so true. Yeah.
You transfer money. I bought a shirt at the event, and I was like, I don't have cash, bro. And he's like, Venmo. Dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I thought I was gonna get away.
Yeah. But no, I mean that's how it is, right? So
it is.
You're able to do everything without brick and mortars now.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. And then the fact that we meet once a week, that's like our check-in.
Yeah.
Where we know what's going on for the week. It's like, all right, let's get it going and stuff. And it's pretty awesome that we're able to not necessarily have a physical presence, but then have a massive presence within the city.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And the West Covina Kiwanis is known, or just Kiwanis in general, are known as like the worker bees of service. Mm-hmm. So we're not necessarily just raising money. We're like out there,
putting blood, sweat, and tears out there.
Once a month, we do a park cleanup, and so it's usually at Cortez Park. I mean, at Cameron, we've been doing Cortez Park, but we just go out there with 30 kids and clean the park. You know what I mean? Like, hey, just kind of show pride. You know what I mean? In the work that you do in your community. So there's always something, and what I always tell people is like, you don't actually have to be part of a service club. You know what I mean? You just have to serve. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's opportunities all the time where you can serve, whether it's a soup kitchen, whether it's at your church, whether it's at the school. Like, there's a ton of parents that serve at their schools. You know what I mean? PTO.
Yeah.
We just got room parents or whatever. All that stuff is all part of service. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Most of these services, where would you be able to find them on the city website?
On the city website, yeah. So the city website, there's I think there's a service tab where you can kind of see where all the service clubs are.
Okay.
And there's actually 32 service clubs in West Covina. 32. Wow. Oh yeah. They range.
How many have you gone to this year?
This year?
Yeah.
Not
one, huh?
But
me neither. Last year I did.
Last year you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have you serving. Don't worry. Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
so you've been serving.
Corey's Kitchen, all that good stuff.
Yeah. You know,
we need to go. I need to get on it.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's what I was saying off air was about my time, you know.
Yeah.
But next year for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
You got to challenge us. To get out there.
I'll be pinging you guys. I'll be texting them.
Like,
where you at?
Exactly. No, for real. We need to get out there.
Yeah. Well, also in the winter. So one of the big things that we do in the winter is we do the winter shelter for the homeless.
Yeah.
So it rotates. I'm not sure if you know that at the Catholic churches, the local area,
I did last year's.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like they stay in church every 2 weeks, and then they kind of rotates out.
Okay.
But we do we do feed the homeless. We provide jackets. We do all the different type of stuff that we can help the homeless out.
Yeah.
So there's all these. So we touch every different aspect of like social issues that are going on.
Yeah. That's very important that we need to do that. We got to take care of our own.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because we have young ones too.
We do.
Man. So yeah, we got to be that example.
More than anything is that we have to be the example, because if we're not showing them by example, then they're never going to get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like everything else. You know what I mean? It's like raising kids that's a tough one. You know what I mean? Because you're under a microscope every day. So you gotta eat right. You gotta try to eat right if you want them to eat right. You gotta exercise if you want them to exercise. You got to serve if you want them to serve. Yeah. So it doesn't. The apple does not fall far from the tree.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And that job never ends either, huh?
No.
Yeah.
How long do you plan on continuing with this?
That's a good question. I don't see an end in sight.
That's good.
Yeah, it's something that I've become passionate about over the past 4 years. I actually never thought I would join.
There's that word again. Passionate.
Oh yeah.
Passionate.
Yeah. And it drives you. It really does. And what drives me is the impact that I'm making in the lives of people. You know what I mean? And you don't typically see that often. And even when you serve like at a soup kitchen and stuff like that, you sometimes you just kind of go through the routines and stuff like that, and you feel it every so often. But we have something that's called the Kiwanis Moment. And I think anybody, it doesn't necessarily have to be a Kiwanis moment. It's just a moment when you connect with someone else when you're serving. And for me, it happened about 2 years ago, and we were doing. We started a backpack program. It's called Stuff a Bus, and so what we do is we work with the school district, and we literally stuff an entire bus with school supplies, backpacks, everything. We take it all back, we put them all, we assemble them, and then we donate them to the Foster and Homeless Youth Center at the West Covina School District. Yeah. And so we have a distribution day. So we had kids come in, and the parents come to kind of get the backpacks and stuff. And it wasn't until like a little kid grabbed my hand and like walked me to get a backpack and was like beaming when I gave them that, when they got that backpack. Yeah. That I was like, whoa. Yeah. Like, wow. Like this is like, I connected with this little kid. Yeah. And it was
this
just
is like next level.
Yeah. It's like next level stuff. And you're just like, whoa, this is like meaningful stuff. Like this is beyond like the work that I do for a living or anything else. It's like the feeling that you get when you help your kids. Yeah. When you see that the what do you call it?
Light bulb.
The light bulb goes off with one of your kids, and you see it, and you're like, wow, that felt so great. It was the same thing, and I was just like, and I had other moments too with like my seniors and even with the homeless. You see that connection, you know what I mean, and you see the impact and the small, the small gestures that you make that have this like you drop a stone in the water and it's just like ripple effect. Ripple effect. And it just keeps going, you know what I mean? Because I know that by me helping this child, that maybe this child doesn't necessarily is going to get it, but he made a connection with me. Yeah. And then I also saw the eyes of the grandmother, and just the gratefulness. So I know that I impacted her life as well, but then it's like a pay it forward. I know she's going to do something for someone else. Right. And it just continues on, you know what I mean? All the stuff that we do. So the fact that like the club and all the clubs that do stuff and all the people that serve, it's like this ripple effect. It's just like constantly going out, you know what I mean? And the more people we can get to do that, man, we can change the world. And I mean it, and I mean it like seriously. Like it's like these kind of actions that bring people back to square one and make that connection with one person again, and it's not about politics, and it's not about all this, but it's just about two people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so that's why when you ask, like, when do I see this ending? Oh man, this is good stuff. Like, I would never give this up. It's like, I was when I gave up the presidentship, or like we were doing this transition, I said, you know, there's all these things that you can be addicted to in this world, sports and drugs and all this, anything. You can be addicted to anything, but the one thing that I'm like proud to be addicted to is service. Serving my kids, serving my wife, serving the community, you know what I mean, and serving strangers. But when you do that, it's like I'm building, like my mom says, you're building that castle in the sky, you know what I mean, and I'm paying it forward to other people, and I'm bringing good karma to the people around me. So this is going to continue on, and who knows what else is going to come. You know what I mean? It's Kiwanis. It's going to be other things. You know, I've been talking to my family about putting together our own foundation, and trying to see how we can kind of, you know, serve underserved kids as well. So there's all these other ways that we can actually serve, and you know, once you start going down this path, you start seeing like the possibilities. You start making connections with other people that want to do the same thing. And so then it just becomes this like microcosm where everybody that you surround yourself with are like constantly out there trying to do good in the community.
Yeah. That's cool. Have you ever had one of those moments?
Like a key moment?
Yeah.
I did. You know what? I did, and I wish I continued it more, but I've been lagging, dude, in service, you know, in my life, right? So I'm trying to get back into it. That was, matter of fact, one of the reasons why we started this podcast, because I remember I told you I wrote down on a piece of paper, what are you doing for the community?
Exactly. Yeah.
That was a question to myself. And then and this kind of popped into my head, and I don't know if we're doing anything right, but hopefully we're in along the right way. Yeah. But my key moment, is that what it was? Key moment or Kiwanis moment?
Yeah, Kiwanis moment.
Kiwanis moment was in high school. Was it high school or was junior high? I think. Yeah, junior high. I was in choir. Remember, I was in choir. Maybe you guys made fun of me about that. Yeah.
Hey, sing us a tune, bro.
I did. I had a solo. I had a solo part. Yeah, dude, it was cool. I'll do it on the show one day. All right. And we all as a class, we all went to it's that senior citizen home off of right there by the Food for Less off Citrus, or I'm sorry, Azusa and Puente.
Oh, okay.
So we went there, and it was during Christmas, and we just sang a bunch of carols. And that same moment, and it's funny when you said that, is it was an older lady, and she just grabbed my hand, and she was Latina, and all of them were all white, you know, because typically you see mostly just white people in there, not so much raza just stays at home with you. Yeah. But this lady was Latina, and she grabbed my arm, and she just looked at me, and she said "mijo," and she started crying.
Oh man.
But it's joy. Yeah. And I was just like, fuck, what are we doing here? Like, we're doing something. I thought it was just part of the assignment. We go sing. It's a performance. It wasn't a performance.
Especially at a senior center. They love to sing.
So it meant a lot. And that's when I was affected. And I was like, why am I being that a-hole, that bully, you know, trying to be a tough guy at school? For what, you know? And I think that's when my mentality started to change, which I wasn't at, I know you were going to say something about your moment. Did you have a moment?
I had a moment.
Oh, you want to say your moment? I'll get back to
you sure? Andres. You want to write it down?
No,
I'm not going to forget.
Dude, I got this right here.
I had this crazy moment. I was, I'm going to try to make this short. I was looking for a job. I got a job. And I at the time I was going to church. Oh, I'm still going to church. I don't know why I said that. But I had said, God, if you give me this job, I'm going to help out the community. You know, people say that. I did. And I said, you know, every check I'm gonna put aside $100. I'm going to go buy supplies for a homeless person. Trip out, man. I went to Walmart and just bought a bunch of necessities and stuff. Last thing I bought was a backpack. My bill came out to exactly $100. That tripped me out. Yeah. Toothbrush, toothpaste, soap, towels, you know, socks, underwear, whatever. And a backpack. And then I'm like, all right, let's go drive around, look for some homeless people. I didn't find nobody. Yeah. It was getting late. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go eat. I went to eat. And then outside where I ate, there was a homeless lady. And she had a puppy. She had a puppy in her backpack. And I go, I'm going to give it to her. And dude, she started crying. She's like, I found this puppy, or someone gave me a puppy or something, and it's cold. It was cold, dude.
Yeah.
She's like, I put all my shirts in there so the puppy could be warm. She put her own stuff for this puppy and carried all her other stuff in plastic bags. She's like, I needed this. Like, I was like, boom, that's it. She gave up her own backpack and her own clothes to keep this puppy warm and while she's freezing, and gave up her backpack, and I gave it to her, and she just bawled, and she's like, thank you, I needed it. That was my moment. Your moment.
Yeah.
Wow. And ever since then, I did for like a year straight, just doing that. And it was pretty cool. I came up with a little catchy little slogan, which is actually my email right now. It was bags to rags, bringing a godly service to resonate a godly sound.
That's awesome, man.
And it was cool, man. God blessed me, and I blessed people, you know.
Yeah,
and that felt good, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that's that feeling.
That feeling.
Yeah, you know, we always talk about like, you know, that service to others is like altruistic. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm doing it because I don't want anything in return. But the reality is, we do want something in return.
Yeah.
It's that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like you can't escape it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what becomes so like addicting, and it's like what you search out for. You're not looking for anything material and stuff like that.
Right.
But that feeling of just like, I made a difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Goes on for a long time for you. You know what I mean? It's like just like you did for that lady, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. It was cool. It was cool feeling.
Now, you know, we've talked about what kind of changed us, those moments that changed us. Well, before the Kiwanis, that was what, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Have you always been like that, or was that something that started with that, or what was your moment, your change?
That's funny. That's a good question. I wasn't really service minded before that. You know, service minded meaning like in the community doing.
Right.
Before actually joining Kiwanis, I had never served. I maybe had done a couple of stuff with the church and stuff like that, but wasn't like fully engaged in understanding the needs that were out there.
Yeah,
we do stuff with family members. Like we would, for Thanksgiving, we'd find a family to do a Thanksgiving for and stuff like that, or Christmas, buy gifts for like a random family.
Yeah,
but nothing like this, and it really has like transformed the way I think about everything. And the time that I spent, if it's not spent with the family, then it's spent with service.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's definitely been a transformation. Not sure everybody feels the same way. Everybody kind of experiences it differently.
Yeah.
But it's been pretty amazing.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's like you said, it's self-rewarding, you know, like
it is.
You get that payback, and that's probably what's the best, you know, it's better than monetary, right?
Right.
That feeling.
Yeah, but it's funny. I find myself trying to like every time I'm in a situation, I'm always looking for a way, like turn it into a service. Like I'm at work, you know what I mean? And I'm you know, we're talking about I work for my own company, but I'm doing a contract with a company called OpenX, and they have something called OpenX Cares.
Yeah,
and they do they have like a group of employees that go out to the Boys and Girls Club, and they volunteer. And I'm thinking like, wow, that's awesome. Like, I wonder how I can connect that with stuff that I'm doing with Kiwanis and stuff like that. So there's always like, I'm constantly trying to find the connections, you know what I mean? To service and others, and connect people together. Sometimes it has nothing to do with me, and it's more like, how can I connect two people that they can start something else?
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's cool.
It's interesting.
Where do you find the time? Because I mean, you have your job, and then at night, you know, when do you make the time to actually iron that cape?
Yeah, right.
That superhero cape. Oh, it's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time. Yeah. So,
and plus your husband, your father, your son to somebody. I mean, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, you know what I mean? And it's sacrifice to a large degree, you know? So it's like I said, if I'm not at home serving, my family, then I'm out there serving the community. So, sometimes it's like I'm going to miss something that's going on at home, because there might be a project that we're working on, and the kids understand too. You know what I mean? Like, my dad's out there. They know, like, he's out there. He's doing service with Kiwanis, so it becomes part of just the family of what we do. But it's sometimes it's late. It's in the weekend. It's late at night. It's early morning. You know what I mean? It's like you got to find time. I always say, like, people say I don't have enough time to do stuff. It's like, it's not that you don't have time. It's just you're just not, either managing your time, or you're just not having prioritized your time. Yeah. So that's the one thing that I've become really good at, is like how to prioritize the things that are important, and then cutting out everything else. Yeah. So kind of somewhat become like minimalist with my time. Yeah. And really just focus on the things that are important. And once you do that, like, I mean, I don't watch a lot of TV, so
yeah,
there's
that
like
probably helps.
There's like an hour a day. Yeah, so you find ways of doing that. You know what I mean, and you also got to take care of yourself. So hit the gym and go for a run. Clear your head.
Yep. That alone time, the me time.
You got it, man.
Yeah,
it's a lot, man.
It is a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot. You had mentioned those tickets earlier. What is that for?
Yeah, so that's another project that we do. So. This is the holiday shopping spree. So we do this every year. We sell about 500 of these tickets, or $5 a piece, and it's a drawing to win $500. And so we have all these other gifts that we give out for like the second, third, fourth, fifth place, and whatever. But really, the money that we raise from here goes to our scholarships.
Okay.
So we raise about $2,000 from this, and then with this we're able to give out, I think it's 7 scholarships. To high school kids.
Nice.
So our goal is to give out about $4,000 worth of scholarships at the end of the year to high school kids. So we find little things like this. We just did we did call it a World Series pool. Mm-hmm. So we raised about $1,000 from there. Nice. So there's always ways. We always find like little ways that big projects like the pumpkin run, and then we have these little ones that pay the bills too.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we're gonna have you guys.
We'll do it.
Up.
We got it
for sure.
We got it. You got to start one of the, because how everybody does like challenges, on Instagram. Like you got to do a hashtag Kiwanis challenge.
Yeah, I know.
We got to figure one out. We'll figure one out.
Yeah, that's
put it out there. See how far it goes.
Put this out on.
Take a picture and
Instagram,
No, we'll post it up there.
Yeah, for sure.
So in closing, I mean, first of all, we want to thank you for coming out. A lot of knowledge. You're putting a lot of information out there. I hope everybody takes that information and use it for towards good. Do you have anything?
No,
Maybe you can close the show with a little message for our viewers and our listeners.
Well, I mean, I think the message that I have for the viewers is, it has to do with service. It's just serve your community wherever you're at. So, and that goes from, finding a project to work on, whether it's at your kid's school or your school, at work. You know what I mean? We always think like, service has to be outside of work.
Yeah.
But just like OpenX does CARES, they have that CARES program. A lot of companies can do the same thing. And then some simple things like serve your family. You know what I mean? Service starts at home.
Right.
I always say that. It's like, as much as I'm out there doing stuff in the community, if I'm not serving my family, then I'm not really taking care of business. And so it's like taking care of spending time with your kids, doing service projects with them. You know what I mean? Spending quality time with them. There's always a project you can do with them. You know what I mean? From like collecting sweaters, collecting backpacks, all these things, going to the soup kitchen, things that are not necessarily like high impact, but they make a difference.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so as long as you're out there kind of giving back to the community, everything's good.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
We got to start serving, man.
Yeah.
Let's start serving.
We got you. Don't worry. I got you covered.
Let's do it. Guys. Well, thanks a lot.
Of course.
Andres Castañeda. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. See you later, guys.